Hey, welcome back to the Finale tutorial series. Today we're going to look at how to create a custom effect. We'll probably actually do several videos in this series, as it can be pretty easy and it can be pretty complex depending upon what cake you're trying to build, if you want to build a cake, and just what that cake is actually doing. Probably have to have a whole video on how to read and interpret and write VDL, which is what Finale uses as its language for how to create a custom effect. But today we're going to pick something perhaps a little easier, and we're going to do Winda Ghost Show. And so the first thing we can do, you can, to create a simulation, come in here up to Effects, Create New Simulation, or you can just press Control G, and it pops up this little screen here. And it tries to give you a little bit of information and tell you that it's smart about doing whatever you say, and sometimes it's pretty good. Other times you've got to go read the manual as to how to actually write something to get it to make what you want. But let's take a look at Ghost Show. Ghost Show is a NoAb from Winda. So the first thing when I create an effect that I'm looking at, so I'm going to go find a video, and I'm going to figure out when the first lift is. About 3 to 4 seconds in. And then what I'm going to figure out is when is the last effect really over. This one's about 41 seconds. So I'm going to track my 3 or 4 seconds. So the whole cake lasts about 36 seconds. What is deceiving about Finale is that Finale, when you tell it how long a cake lasts, is thinking how long is it from the first shot to from the first lift to the last lift. It's the time you tell it doesn't factor in the effect of the last shot. So even though our cake is 36 seconds long, if I type in that it's a 36-second cake, it's probably going to be inaccurate. So instead, what I think I'm going to do, so if I type in 36 seconds, it's going to think the last shot is at 36 seconds, and the simulation will actually run longer. So I probably need to tell it it's like a 32-second cake, and that'll get us pretty close. So let me try that. So when you start typing in here, we need to think about how many shots is it, and you can be pretty open-ended with what you want to say. It's pretty good about figuring out if you just put the kind of the right terms in there. So we got 9 shot, we'll say it's 3 inch, sure, whatever, not really. 9 shot, 3 inch. We can leave it as a placeholder for now. I just want to make sure I get the time right. We'll say it's 32-second cake. And we can just say insert into show. And so by default, it's going to give it a pre-fire time of 0.3. You can change that later. These are all the different ways you can change what the simulation looks like. I typically don't mess with most of them. So it's created an effect for us, and it goes from 10 seconds to looks like about 46 seconds. So that's right at 36 seconds. So we nailed it. So you can kind of watch it here. Seems about right. Now we can press Control W. That would allow us to change it this way. So if I wanted to change the pre-fire time on it or something, I could do that. I think I would rather go back into the typing area and just type in some more about the effect to try to get a little closer. So I'm actually going to delete it. The nice thing is, though, it's going to save what I had typed in here. So I pressed Control G to create my new simulation. It saved what I previously had typed in there. So now I need to get a little more specific about what it is. Thankfully, all 9 shots of Ghost Show are the same. They are well, let's go look at it again. I think there's that specific colors, aren't there? There's some couple of different colors on each shot, but essentially it's like a green to blue to silver peony. And I'm just going to hope that Finale is smart enough to know what I mean by that, because I'm not actually sure it is. But we'll try it. It seems right. Green to blue to silver tipped peony cake. Sounds right. Yeah, not bad. For simulation purposes, I would be perfectly happy using this in my simulation. The only thing might be is that 3-inch might be a little liberal with how it's actually going to break. It's not really a 3-inch shell in there. So we could tweak that size of it and see how it changes the simulation. Let's say a 2.25 inch. That seems about right. There's a little more dark sky in between each shot, which is kind of what we were seeing on the actual video. So now I can do a couple other things. I can right click here, and that also opens up the same view as Control W to edit the effect. If I was going to save this to my inventory, I would go ahead and change the pre-fire time to 0.05. I kind of like that. And then I would also change the name of it here. So I'll call it Window Ghost Shell. I generally don't need to worry about changing any of these other effects. These all control what the simulation looks like. And about the only ones I'll occasionally adjust will be how many particles there are. If it's a cake that if Finale is pulling in too many stars. Or sometimes I change the sound. I made some photo flash simulations, which are basically salutes I took the sound out. That's about all I do. So I still haven't saved it to my inventory though. I named it, but it's still not in my inventory. To put it in my inventory, I need to come up here to Effects, My Fireworks, Save Selected Simulation as New Effect, Window Ghost Shell, sounds good. Save it. Now it has been saved to my library. And with that, we'll go ahead and end this video. We'll get into some other videos on how to create some more complex cakes that maybe have different patterns or fire and sweeps, fire in a Z shape, stuff like that. We're going to cut this one here. Thanks for watching.